Hi, Engineering Space Cadet. So, I'm sure you're familiar with the previous videos and the channel, and today we're going to go over conditionals. Conditionals are basically expressions that we're evaluating the truthfulness of, or we're evaluating if the condition has been met, right? This is also called control flow. So for conditionals, this may mean that a statement such as 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? And if I'm asking if, let's say, for example, if x and x is equal to 2. And kind of in plain English, I could be like, if 2, if x is equal to 2, then I could just like print x, I could print x is equal to 2, right? Now, this is called an if statement. An if statement is basically as it sounds. It's very kind of English forward. So if I say if x is equals 2, which is just not a assignment variable, but a comparison variable, it goes, oh, if x is equal to 2, then I'll print out this statement. And if it's not, then we'll print out something else. Normally, this conditional is called an if-else statement. So we have the case where we have else, and else we print out x is not equal to 2. Okay, so if the condition here is met, which x is equal to 2, then it should print out this, right? And if x is not equal to 2, then it should print out this. So we're going to run this and just see what happens. And you can see from the output, x is equal to 2, which is just saying that, hey, in this case where x is equal to 2, we'll just print out this. Now we're going to change x to a different value. And this different value is going to be 1. So we're going to run this again, and you can see that x is not equal to 2. Now this is very basic. It's very easy to understand. Now let's just say, for example, we want to put different conditions here. So for an if-else statement, which is just helping with our control flow, we can have something else, which is just an else-if or elif. An elif just allows us to pass another condition. So elif x is equal to 1, then we can print out x is equal to 1, right? So in this case, where we have x equal to 1, it should come to this line where, like, hey, if x is equal to 1, print out x is equal to 1. If x is equal to 2, then it prints out x is equal to 2. Else, we'll just print out that x is not equal to 1 or 2. Okay? So we're just going to run this and see what happens. X is equal to 1. Now if we change this back to 2 and run it again, x is equal to 2, and now we're going to change the number to 3. Boom. Okay, it says that x is not equal to 1 or 2. Now for very basic cases here, we can have this, right? And it's pretty fine. You know, it's very normal. We use that for control flow, and basically our conditions are done, like our conditional statements. If, else, if, and else. Now, we have like some new features that are in Python, which allow us to have other things and other conditionals. But before that, we're going to go to the easier, or I guess more condensed down version of this if statement. So we could have a single line where we have x. And let's do x is equal to 10, and y is equal to print x is equal to 1 if x equal 1, else print x is not equal to 1. Now, you see that x right now is equal to 10. So if I was to run the statement here, which I don't think I actually need to assign this anything, I think I can just run it straight, and we just run this, you can see that x is not equal to 1. And this is just a ternary statement, which just allows us to write some kind of condition and some else condition as well, based solely on this. So the first the result that we're looking for is the first statement. The condition is the next statement, which is this if statement. And then we have our else case that we're going to print out there. Now, if we just change this from 10 to 1 and run it, again, it works the same as this if else up here. This is just more of a simplified version and not as readable as maybe this out statement. So sometimes keeping it simple is the best policy when it comes to coding because you want to be able to understand it and read it. This is not too complicated. However, it can be a little bit more involved. One thing I did not mention is this white space. So if you're coming from a different coding language, something like C or C++ or Java, you'll notice that these if statements and if else statements don't have this around it. You also probably notice, which I didn't mention in any of the previous videos, that there is no semicolons after each of these variables. That's because Python doesn't actually use semicolons to end the statement or end the line statement. It just understands that if you use an assignment variable that is equal to whatever that assignment variable is, and it uses indentations and spaces instead of brackets. So you can see that right here, even if we put something in here, or like a print statement, print valid, and then if true, print valid, right? Now this is in proper syntax, and syntax is just the grammar of the language, the way that the language understands how these commands work. If you were to do that, it just goes no. Now, I'm gonna put a comment here, and this is for versions of Python greater than 3.10, I believe, or greater than or equal to 3.10. I believe this is a feature that was added into Python later. I believe it may be in just 3.10 or 3.11 and up. And it is something that it borrows from another coding language. So we're going to have x, and we're going to set x again to, you can see we have the same x. So maybe we switch it up. So we have foo is equal to 10. Okay. So we have a match and foo. And then we have case 10, right? Print x is or foo is equal to 10. We can do this for a bunch of different cases. We have this is where this is case 10. We can take this and we can just move it up to case 11 because it's so unique and we don't think about it too much. And we'll do one more case here, or if it was equal to 12, and then we'll do a default case. I believe it's either default or an underscore here, like this. It may be like this, or is it? I'm not sure. I forget. But for now, we're just going to keep this, and we're going to match foo. And if foo is equal to 10, then it should print out foo is equal to 10. If it's equal to 11, it should print out foo is equal to 11. And if foo is equal to 12, then it should print out foo is equal to 12. Let's try it out. Boom, foo is equal to 10. Change foo to 11. And then we change foo to 12. Now, we gave this a bunch of different cases. This is basically just a under the hood, an if-else statement. However, it can be sometimes a little bit more efficient or a little bit nicer to kind of look at and read. Now, this is for newer versions of Python. This is not something that you're going to see in the older versions of Python, like 3.7 or maybe not 3.9, I believe. I think it's like 3.10 and up, where they added this new match case for conditionals. But there is a default case, and I can't remember what that may be. So let's see if we can find it in the documentation. Not here. Not in the, won't let me go to the match statement. But there is a default case, which, and again, I thought it was default, and then like the same thing, but it actually may not be default. That's something I'll probably have to look at later. But yeah, this is just a basic introduction to conditionals. And next we're going to go into loops. And loops are going to be kind of your bread and butter for a lot of handling of data. After that, then we'll go into actually writing some more complicated code. So I'm going to end it here, and thank you for watching.